Yeah. Yeah, I don't like them headphones on, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, live on Yahya McClain, we are Real Fake Media, and we're an international household name. It's your man's Digger Dame Lee, a.k.a. Poppy Rossi. You know, the guy with the bionic guy. It's official. We're in the building. Honor Rich is in the building. Y'all seen Yahya McClain is in the building, two-time world champ. Live and direct. What's up, ladies? Honor Rich, Deidre, Frankie, Trisha, Nikel. Kiss to your faces. Y'all see the guy right there. Hodge, the God. Y'all see my engineer. There you go. I appreciate you. Bang.
Appreciate you.
Alright, so right now we're getting everything together. They say hello, everyone. Trisha say, what's up, Jeff?
What up? What up?
What up? What up?
What up? What up?
Y'all see Yahya McClain?
Ask me again, I'll tell you the thing.
Ah, bang, bang, bang. That's my cue.
Use some phones, gentlemen. Use some phones. That's first to hear YMPradio.
So we about to get activated. Y'all know how it is, man. In the building. AD, what it do? Make sure y'all call in 404-603-8770. Make sure y'all call in at some point and say what's up to us. Ask Yahya some questions once you get activated. This is Casualties of W.A.R.
Casualties of War, Women and the Regime. Documentary about parental alienation and corruption in the family law court system across America. The repeal is real.
Right. We're about to take off in a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all want to tune in on the radios, on your internet radios, you can go to 1100atlanta.com. Again, that's 1100atlanta.com. I want to give a big up to my family. Caddy Simba. It's his born day today. So we want to salute Caddy Simba. And Isaiah Jackson. That's my family. They're walking to their new chambers. So we want to salute them today, man. Live on Yahya. That's official. Yeah. Here we go, let's go.
You are listening to Young Men's Perspective Radio.
Live on Yahya. We are Real Fake Media.
We look to enrich, encourage, and engage our youth here on iHeartradio.
And it's presented like a jewel.
We interview individuals such as Susan L. Taylor.
What we know is that failing schools are the pipeline to prison.
Jasari X.
We're the changers, and I feel like this generation is a generation that's really going to make change.
Dr. Julia Hare.
Best part of our action plan is to reclaim the minds of our children.
Dick Gregory.
Our problem is we think we part of this government, you're not.
This is Young Men's Perspective Radio.
Live on Yahya. We are Real Fake Media.
Tune in to WWRN 1100 AM on Wednesday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Friday from 10 to 11 p.m. on WWWE 1100 AM on iHeartradio.
Just gotta get in tune with your purpose.
YMP. Your call-in number is 404-603-8770. Your host, Jeff Hodges.
Be here now.
With your co-host, Digger Dame Lee.
Young Men's Perspective Radio.
Young Men's Perspective Radio.
YMP.
Welcome to the future, baby.
What's going on, Atlanta? What's going on? What's going on? We are back in the building. You are live on Liveonillyave with Young Men's Perspective Radio. I am your host, Jeff Hodges, and joining me tonight,
it's your man's Digger Dame Lee, a.k.a. Poppy Rotsy. You know, the guy with the bionic eye. It's official, baby. We got our family in the building as well today. Yo, please tell the people who you are, man.
My name is Yahya McClain.
Yahya McClain.
no doubt, Yahya, you heard it, Yeezy, you feel me? Yeah, we definitely gonna get it in with Cuzzo in a minute. We're gonna talk about that documentary, Casualties of W.A.R, Women in the Regime. But before we do that, we're gonna do our little, what we do, my dude. So how was your week?
Hey, man, all I can say is that it's been explosive, getting ready for this week, and just absorbing what CR Capers had really brought to the table. You understand what I'm saying? CR Capers, you know what I mean? Boogie was in the building, baby. And not only that, just to sit down with St. Gregory.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? A half-hour concept
that was the
turned into about 5.5 hours.
I don't think nobody can say they did that. That's right. Young Men's Perspective live on Liveonillyave. We laid it down with the elder. You heard?
Yes.
5.5.
So it felt good. It felt strong. It felt natural.
He ain't snap on y'all?
Oh, man. He aimed to get it off on Sean B. He gave Sean a little light, yo. Early. He almost tried to get at me. I eat that too.
I seen the girl asked to take a picture. Her phone didn't work. He snapped. This was at Ali's funeral.
Snap.
Yeah, he snapped.
Yeah, Uncle Dick Gregory.
We're going to definitely do a recap. Like, for instance, like one of my first questions to the elder was, what your thoughts are? You Mr. Conspiracy Theorist. What your thoughts are with this 85 bridge? Atlanta know they dead wrong. Got us thinking the crackhead burned it down. Man, you know what? You wrong for that. He just, went in. I was like, all right. He invited us a special guest to the last show Sunday night. We sitting there chilling, sipping on a little drinkity drink. And what he do for the first opener? Now y'all know y'all some fools. Y'all they got y'all believing the crackhead on gonna burn down the bridge. I said, yo, Digger, did you hear that, man?
We almost left, man. We almost left.
Yeah, but it was all love, though. It was all love.
That's what's up.
Okay, we got a call on the line. Who we got there? Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
Oh, can you guys hear me? I thought I was muted out.
Now we can hear you.
My name is Ricky. I'm calling from
Ricky, what's up, beloved? You out there in Cali?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Can you guys hear me okay? Because my connection's a little bad.
Nah, we can hear you.
We can hear you beautifully, beloved. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We good.
We're in motion, getting ready to have a very informative show with our family. Yahya McClain right here, 2-time world champ right there.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
Yay, yeah.
What's up?
Well, I'm happy to be here, happy to listen, and I got my feet kicked up and I'm ready to go.
That's what's up.
Well, I guarantee your feet won't stay kicked up. You're gonna put them feet planted firmly on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah. And on that note, we gonna glide out of here and take this commercial break. Pay these bills. We thank you for calling in, caller. And when you come back, definitely sit tight because we're gonna bring it to you live here on Young Men's Perspective Magazine Radio Show.
Thank you for calling, Ricky.
No
Kiss
doubt.
to your face.
All right.
Future.
What's the dairy, man? This is the legendary, the cool, the DJ, the regular. And all I gotta say is one thing right now.
You are listening to Young Men's Perspective Radio.
Live on Liveonillyave, we are real baby meat.
On iHeartradio.
We here now.
YMP.
We about to get activated with Yeezy. It's gonna be,
Here's a little ditty about that John Deere mower deck that mows faster, better.
something
It's not how fast you mow, my friends, it's how well you mow fast. If you just mow fast but your yard looks bad, then you got a lot of ugly grass. You need a John Deere to take care of your yard. You need a Z-Track Z3 45 over. It's not how fast you mow, my friends, it's how well you mow fast. The XL Dash got more capacity for yards like yours that get to grassity. Want to mow well in a higher gear? See a John Deere dealer, nothing runs like a deer.
Those dial your number beds, they make no sense. They're basically pricey air mattresses that make you select one firmness. Reverie knows that different areas of your body need different levels of support. Your shoulders may do fine with a firm mattress, but what about your back, neck, and hips? That's why we created the world's first completely customizable sleep system. Only Reverie has micro-targeted Dream Cell foam springs, an advanced sleep technology that lets you customize your mattress from head to toe. Each cell...
Oh, I might need to move that so y'all can hear me. But anyways, yeah, tune in, man. Stay with us. We're about to rock out. I thank y'all, man, for the life forces of energy that's on the other end of this scope right here. Like, salute to y'all, man. This is dope. Thank y'all for listening to us, tuning in, giving us that energy, man. Oh, yeah. We got life forces on the other end. It's hard to hear. Let me find it. Hold up. Hold on. Rock with me. Yo, y'all won't even believe. Y'all won't even believe that we was racing through traffic, everything. Tell me if you can hear it now, Q.
404-603-8770. That's 404-603-8770. Call in now. On iHeartradio.
The real, yo. There's just one thing I wanna say. Copy. There's just one thing I wanna say. We back, like people. This,
listening to Young Men's Perspective Radio. I'm your host, Jeff Hodges.
And I'm your man's Digger Dame Lee, a.k.a. Paparazzi.
And as promised, we're going to give it to y'all. Tonight's topic, we're going to get it in with our special guest, Yahya McClain, the two-time world boxing champ, former son-in-law of Muhammad Ali, U.S. veteran and director of the up-and-coming film, Casualties of W.A.R. Welcome to the house, y'all. Yahya McClain.
Yahya McClain.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. It's definitely an honor and pleasure. You know, stranger to the Young Men's Perspective show, so we're not going to get into all of that. We're just going to dive right to it. Cuzzo, tell us all about this documentary, man.
Well, like you introduced me, you said I'm a former Marine. I'm a former two-time world champion boxer. I'm from New York, from the streets. Basically, my father was killed when I was 3 years old. I've been fighting all my life. I'm built to fight. And this is by far the hardest fight I've ever been involved in all my life. And the fight that I'm talking about is the fight in the family law court system in America. The fight to be in my son's life. The fight for my God-given constitutional rights that the government is trying to strip me of for financial gain. The fight that over 25 million Americans are dealing with throughout this country because this problem is so ubiquitous. That's the fight that I'm dealing with. And that's why the name of this documentary is called Casualties of W.A.R. Because all of us are casualties of war in one way or another. And the WAR is an acronym. The WAR stands for Women and the Regime. Because 85% of the time, it's the women that run to the courts in the case of divorce or separation with the child involved. And the courts are the actual regime. The system put in place to create a perpetual custody battle or family dispute for the pure sake of financial gain. And, we've all heard about baby mama drama. I've heard about it. I have my daughter. My daughter's 27 years old. Her mother is great. Never, ever, ever took me through any of this. Never had a problem with her mother. Jackie White, you one of the real ones. And So as people, my friends, my brother, as people went through this all my life, I'm like, what are you talking about? How could this be? I don't get it. I never got it. I waited 20 years because I never wanted to be one to have children all over. So I waited 20 years to my I got married to my ex-wife. A good, God-fearing woman, supposed to be. A Muslim, went to Hajj, and I thought this was it. I'm gonna marry her. Okay, I can have another kid. And I'm a fighter. I've always wanted a son. I always wanted to teach my son how to box. And this whole system, it was exposed to me. It was broken down before my eyes, and I just became a casualty of war. You know, I got married, had a child, and the divorce was, the marriage was terrible, so we got divorced, and, it just went all bad from there. And I've been alienated from my son. I've gone almost a year without seeing my son. I haven't seen my son this time since October. Prior to that, it was November of 2015. So all this stuff I just became, involved and exposed to, started reaching out on Facebook, and that's how I learned all about this. This is a ubiquitous problem that has to change. And that's the purpose of my documentary.
Indeed. Now you use a terminology a lot of people may not be aware of, and that being parental alienation. A lot of people may experience it, but let's talk about parental alienation and what that's entailing.
Well, parental alienation there's several different ways to break it down. Basically what it is when one parent, usually, not always, because men do this also.
Right.
Some men do this also. Like I said, it's 85% of the time it's women.
Mm-hmm.
And in the case of divorce or separation with a child involved, they use the system to alienate. And when alienate means to keep the father or the mother away from the child, they create lies. They use what's called the silver bullet. Silver bullet is when you go in and start. First thing you say is, oh, he sexually abused my son.
Right.
False allegations.
Right.
Immediately, they're going to take the child for the best interest of the child. We don't know if it's true or not. But hey, we got to side on, make the error on the side of
said against you.
Right, exactly. So that just starts the ball rolling. And this stuff goes on. Like, I've been in this battle for 6 years now. My son is 7 years old. And I've been fighting for my son for the last 6 years. And they never stop. They never stop. The lies, the allegations, it never stops.
At the end of the day, when you're talking about, parental alienation and using the children as pawns, because that's basically what's taking place, one of the things that the angry, hurt person, whether it be male or female, as you just spoke on, not realizing the impact that's having on the child. Because at the end of the day, that child that you're using as a pawn is a part of you in the person that you are against. So now you put that child in a very awkward position. Now they have to choose. Now they have to try to figure out who to like and receive better. It's really an unfair predicament to put a child in based off of your emotions because of your decisions you've made. And now we have a child that we now deal with.
Absolutely.
I can speak on that because I'm going through that in real time. And I've been going through this now for 8 years. You feel me? So, like yourself, I'm missing chapters of me and my son's growth, our maturity. You know what I mean? Just the God exchange that's supposed to take place. There's moments that's missing. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
This stigmatized game that gets played against us, it's harmful and it's reckless to everybody that's involved in the concept of the family structure.
Well, that's where it gets misconstrued, because we like to just think that everyone that's involved are the only ones that are affected.
Not at all.
This affects society. The majority of America's social ills are due to fatherless homes.
Broken families, yeah.
And If you look at the 90% of youth in prison were raised by single moms. 85% of violent rapists were raised by single moms. I mean, I got stats all day.
Right.
Facts. You dig?
Right.
I can go through this all day long. And everything, you always got to follow the money trail.
Right.
When you're trying to find out a problem, follow the money trail.
Exactly.
All of this comes back to Title 4D of the Social Security Act.
Yep, I was
and Title 4E of the Social Security Act. Now,
keep
Title
in mind
4D.
Don't exclude the birth certificate.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. That's another show. That's a whole nother show. But Title 4D of the Social Security Act, it incentivizes the states to create a need for child support. Usually the father, and the way they do that is by alienating one of the parents.
Right.
Usually the father.
Purpose.
And so, just for instance, I pay $600 a month for one child. I'm a disabled vet, by the way. How am I paying $600 a month for one child? That's another story. Anyway, $1.50 goes to the state for processing fees. Now, I told you earlier, there's at least 23 million alienated parents in America. The majority of them are paying child support.
Right.
So if you got 23 million alienated parents paying $1.50 a month for processing fees, that's just from Title 4D. Now you go to Title 4E, that's foster care. They are creating a need for a foster care when you could have two parents that love each other. I mean, you got to see the documentary. I have these people. Everything that I'm telling you is stuff that I've learned over the last year and a half as I traveled the country, interviewing all these different people. I've interviewed mothers, daughters, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, doctors, lawyers, police officers, judges, criminal, a murderer. I interviewed a murderer that swears that if his son would have been allowed, if his father would have been in his life, he wouldn't have done that.
Wow.
He wouldn't have killed people. There's another one that a lot more popular that everyone has seen. The other dude that said that he wasn't allowed to see his son, so he shot somebody that didn't have nothing to do with it. He got arrested. That was pretty recent.
Yeah, we got a caller. Let's see what they got. Who's that caller? What's your name and what's your question?
Hi, good evening. It's Frankie Lynn from Columbus, Ohio.
Frankie Lynn, how you doing, beloved?
I am doing great. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's your question,
we can
Frankie?
hear you. What's your question?
Well, I just wanted to call in and salute this brother. Hold on for just a moment.
Cut your radio off. I think your radio
I wanted to
on.
call and salute him because this is deep in the way that he worded the movie. You would never think that the regime, he said it was the system.
Yes, absolutely. The women and the regime, because like I said, 85% of the time it's the women that do this. For instance, it was a woman that did this to me that made me even become aware of this. It was my ex-wife that did that to me. So, when I was in court and they telling me that there's been sexual things going on in front of your son and that happened on your watch. And my son is 1.5 years old, and I'm sitting there looking at these people like they're crazy, doing everything I can to keep from going all the way off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That is, yes, sir. I really, I almost started crying. Like, I'm really teary-eyed about this, and the reason I really understand and respect what you're doing, because I did DNA testing, paternity testing for 14 years, and I was really advocating for y'all.
Right.
Because I wanted the men to get in control of their rights and not allow the woman to take all the control because they maybe weren't still together. So I really respect what you're doing. I'm looking forward to watching the movie, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And just to touch on real quick what you were saying, that's one thing that I've learned also is that, as far as legitimation, you have to get your kids legitimized. You have to get your kids legitimized,
Right.
Because until you get your kids, unless if you weren't married, you have to get your kids legitimized. And until then, you don't have any rights. And just real quick, there was a guy that wasn't married and had a child, and they lived together like they were a family for 7 years. Never got legitimized. And this other man that was actually married to her on paper signed the birth certificate. So For 7 years, this man lived with this kid, and then they took the kid away and said it's not your kid.
Wow.
And because it didn't happen within 2 years, because if you don't get it done in 2 years, there's no legal. If you get it done in 2 years and 1 day, you cannot take that paper into court and say that this is your child, because the courts only give you 2 years to show the DNA that it's your child.
How crazy is that?
So education is key here. In any type of breakup or any kind of guess or questions you may have about whether this child is yours or anything, you just need to attack that immediately.
And see, these are concerns and things that I want to bring to attention with the Professional Fathers League, is that these things should be told to the fathers when they come into the hospitals, and since that's where a lot of people go to have their children.
That goes against the regime.
Exactly. But I'm saying, this is the whole exchange of this awareness. Like, that should be told, right? But because it isn't,
we got
that's
platforms
part
like this so that
setup.
we can make them aware, baby.
Right, right, exactly.
Bring the information to them. You heard? Yeah.
Go ahead, say it again, Frankie.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was one of the things that I would educate the men on. They would be calling like before the child was born. So, and if they weren't married, of course, you're going to have a situation. So I would tell them, don't sign the birth certificate until you get a paternity test, because you're acknowledging that you are the father of that child by signing the form that these social workers in the hospitals try to get signed right away.
Right.
So if you don't read it, and if you sign that acknowledgement of paternity, you only have 60 days to contest it. And most times, by the time the paperwork is turned around, it's 60 days.
Right.
So if you find out you're not the biological father, and you've already signed the paperwork for the birth certificate, you're going to have a situation, and I saw it a lot.
Right. Right.
Because you feel pressured. You want to do the right thing. But y'all should start having a conversation before the babies do.
Turn your radio down some, Frankie.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna listen in.
Hey, listen, I want you to go to my website and check it out. Casualtiesofwar.us. If you go to my website, casualtiesofwar.us, you can watch the trailer.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for calling, Frankie. Right. And we thank you all for listening. You're listening to Young Men's Perspective Magazine radio show. I'm your host, Jeff Hodges. We're going to pay these bills real quick, and we're going to come back and get it in with our guest today, Yahya McClain, and talk about that documentary, Casualties of War, The Women in the Regime. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Future.
Ladies and gentlemen. Yo, what's up? This is the Kid Capri. People all over the world.
Yo.
You're listening to the hottest internet station.
What it do? What it do? Diamond Life. Y'all better ask Diamond. Yo, Frankie, you sound butter. Yo, Tony, yo, what it do, bruh? Welcome to Illyave again, man. I've been waiting for you to get here. Yo, Frankie, good job. I love you for that. That was dope. That's my cue. What it do? Oh, I see y'all blasting off with the number. I see what y'all doing. It's a family thing. All right, we looking righteous. Iris Sellers is in the building. Forex First Lady. You know what I mean? But how y'all feel right now, just taking a gander at what Yaya's talking about, man? Because a lot of us, we may be going through this personally. Well, y'all know I am, but... What up, Tone? I love you, man. You see it happening, man. I'm putting it back together as quick as I can, man. As quick as I can. Oh, man, respect. Thank you, man. We working hard. See, you should call in, Tone. I mean, hey, if this ain't our stories, I don't know what, I mean, we all victims of this experience, right? Come on, man. Oh yeah, call in, Iris, because you can talk about it from the flip side if you want, you know what I mean? Thank you, man. I'm proud of you too. Sarge. Proud of you, man.
Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7.
Yo, I want to give a shout out to one of our sister photographers. Her name is Jazzy Badu. Yeah, I mean, she took the photo of Jeff for the magazine cover that I freaked out. So, you know what I mean? I want to give her a shout out because she does good work. Again, we want to give a shout out to our family, Ricky, Yvette, Westmoreland. She called in just to show love. That was a beautiful thing. You did what I'm saying. Want to give a shout out to Danielle D. Thunderbird. She just walked into a new chamber, so big up her born day as well. You did what I'm saying. Yeah, we just doing our thing, man. Respect, King. I'm back on my thing, Tone. I'm telling you, man. I'm resurrected, man. Tommy L. Buns, what it do, family? Live on Illyave officially. Yeah, that's Mr. McClain that's talking. You're going to hear more as soon as the commercial's over. We're going right back to him. He got more to say. This is his moment. Not only that, he has his own platform, so go to Facebook, Yahya McClain. Yeah. Oh yeah, Yahya dropping that knowledge right there, Diamond. Yeah. And thank you for the drops. Again, you're crafty with it, baby.
All right, we back, y'all. You're listening to Young Men's Perspective. And now we're going to chop it up a little more in detail with our guest today, Yahya McClain, in regards to that film, Casualties of W.A.R, Women in the Regime. Earlier you mentioned about that money trail. And one of the things I think a lot of people are not aware of is the fact that when they say a judge would send you off to, say, a family program or something, family class or something to that effect, a lot of people not aware of that. That very judge that sent you, he's making money from that program that you have to pay into.
Man, everybody looks out for everybody, man. It's a whole complete clique. That's the regime. That's what I'm saying.
No doubt.
So, you know, when you had a baby with the person, you two were together and you had a child together. When you had this child with this person, you thought this person was a well-fit parent.
Right.
So now that you don't get along anymore, why is this person crazy? Why does this person need to go get anger management classes?
Right.
Why does this person need to have parental classes? Now he don't know how to be a parent?
Or someone there while you visiting your own kids.
Hold on. Let's keep it funky,
and you gotta pay them.
Right. Let's keep it funky though, because in real life, a lot of the parents become parents off of reckless recreation.
Indeed.
You feel what I'm saying? So they were probably fixated on some type of elixir or some type of capsule that releases this antidote. They was probably off of a herbal situation.
But you know.
But go ahead.
I feel you on that. But so what I've done is I traveled the country for the last year and a half, interviewing all sorts of people, and the majority of the people that I've interviewed were either married or in relationships.
Right.
I didn't really go that route because that route, for people to just have one-night stands and have babies, is crazy in itself.
Right.
So I didn't want to bring this documentary and focus all the attention on, and I'm not saying that mistakes don't happen, and I'm not trying to bash anyone, but I didn't want to focus on that part. I wanted to focus on the ones that are supposedly doing the right thing.
Right. I feel what you're saying. I'm just looking at it from the perspective. It's not so much a one-night stand, but it's a continuation of one-night stands. As far as you're creating the exchange based off of the gratification you were seeking, which was really to have this recreational exchange. It just became a reckless performance, and now you gotta develop the concept of a toleration for something that you really wasn't expecting.
But that's what I'm saying. See, that's not what I was trying to focus on talking to them, because those types of thoughts kind of belong to someone that is not in the right mind frame in the first place.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to, focus a documentary on that.
Okay.
So I primarily was speaking to married couples or couples that have been couples, and of course there's a few people that wasn't really couples or whatever, but the majority of the people that I've interviewed, and I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people,
right,
were married couples. Married couples, good, supposedly, God-fearing people, or both people had good jobs. I mean, it was nothing. It was like solid foundation. Like, this is America. It was like apple pie and Chevrolet and baseball game type families. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so to see that, and I just want to get one thing cleared up, because as a black man, and when I go and I talk to black men about this topic, the first thing they say is the way the black woman does the black man in this white system, and how the white man want to keep the black man down. Well, this has nothing to do with race.
Right.
This has nothing to do with race at all, because
it's all about the people.
It's about the only color they're concerned with is green.
Baby, green.
That's it. It doesn't really matter. Now, gender comes into play because it's 85% lens. They're gonna rock with the woman for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But there are men that are doing this to women as well.
Indeed.
There's a woman in my documentary named Gwendolyn Chubb, black woman out of Chicago, who was married and got divorced or whatever, and hasn't seen her kids for 8 years. 8 years. What kind of man wouldn't allow the mother to see their kids for 8 years? A little girl and a little boy.
All right. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. What type of practice is she about? See, I'm almost forced into this practice myself.